What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to our 32 user franchise. I am excited, man. Today I'll be showing you the final stats and awards for the regular season. It's one of my favorite parts, just seeing how the season ended up. So let's hop straight into it. First off, the Vikings weren't able to play in the last week, so let's go ahead and look at that and see how the stats played out. I did see that we won 30-24, but I am interested in what our actual stats were. Let's get down here real fast, and we have the Vikings 34-24. We basically doubled their offense, which I really love to see. And let's look at some of the player stats here. I just care about my players. Nope, not the Vikings. Nope, not both. Cowboys. Dak had 2 TDs, 1 pick, 290 yards, 108.3. I think that's average, but that's kind of what a Dax has been, average or a little bit below average all year. Looking at rushing, I'm excited to see this. Somehow Dak outrushed Darren, which I just can't even believe, but Darren did get 37 yards and a tutty. Dak 10 rushes for 58 yards. I'm just kind of mind blown. CD Lamb even got 17 yards rushing. He got 4 carries, so I don't know what our OC was doing. He just wanted everyone to run the ball. And then our backup had 15 yards. Let's look at receiving. CD Lamb, hey, he had a little bit of rushing and he had some receiving. 7 catches, 90 yards, a tutty. Turpin did good. Luke did good. Luke's been playing like crazy. Darren had a few. And Deuce Vaughn got 2 catches and a tutty, which is gross. I don't want him ever stepping foot on my football field. But let's go ahead and look at the overall stats of the year as well. Now that the season's over, we can kind of see how we ended up looking. And we're gonna start with the actual Cowboys first. We're not gonna look at the whole NFL, and then we'll kind of go from there. Dak had 5,100 yards, 43 touchdowns, 20 picks. I know that I was kind of pissed off at a lot of them throughout the year, but I can't argue with those stats. Double the touchdowns, the picks. I would like to see the picks a little bit lower, but if I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I think that is less than the majority of the rest of the league there. 124 rating. We're still looking in the draft. If the right person comes up, I know Dak's on a big deal for, I think, 3 more years, but we're still looking. Rushing, the offensive rookie of the year, in my mind. We'll have to see what the stats show after this. We'll look at the awards. But 1,700 yards and 36 tutties. I think that is just mind-blowing. Considering where we were last year with running the ball, we had no run game. We came out and we drafted Darren Lawton, and he's just completely changed our football team. Edward Judge, he was another rookie that we drafted to be a backup. This is what I want. I want him to come in and a little different style of football, but he averaged 9.2 yards a carry, which is perfect. That's all he has to do. He's not going to get a lot of carries. Darren's going to handle everything that he can, but when he does come in, then he needs to be able to make something happen, and that's clearly shown here, the 9.2 yards a carry. Deuce Vaughn got 2 carries, which is gross. That will definitely be 0 next year. Receiving, I'm a little surprised here. Turpin kind of stepped up, and he almost got above CD Lamb in yards. He had more tutties than him, and that just kind of shows you the year that Turpin had. CD, 1,300 yards is great, but you still can't argue with the fact that Turpin, after the not being much of a factor in year 1, in year 2, he really showed up. And then our boy Darren almost had 1,000 yards receiving too. He had 2 tutties, but 1,700 yards rushing, almost 1,000 receiving. Just a crazy year for him. And Luke kind of stepped up too. Luke didn't do much last year, but now 833 yards and 10 tutties. I really like what he's doing, and he's a little bit younger, but it is sad that if the right player comes up in the draft, we will be going for him. But then Nick, one of the rookies that was later draft round, he did all right. 440 yards, 4 TDs. We'll see if he can build on that going into next year. Cropper did awful as our 4th wide receiver, so we're probably going to put Cooks back up there going into playoffs and let Cooks be the number 4 receivers. He mentored him throughout the year, and so we'll let him get just an option going into the postseason. Let's look at defense though. Lastly, before we go look at some of the total NFL stats for the year. Sacks, Micah led the way, but that's not surprising. Shouldn't be surprising. 16.5. I'm hoping that's up near the top of the NFL. I'll have to see how all the other stats come in. Damian Clark had a great year, 9.5. Samson, he only played half the year and he got 9 sacks as we picked him up in like week 7 or so. DeMarcus Lawrence, when we moved him to defensive tackle, I knew he wouldn't get as many sacks, but he's made big changes in our run game. And then Overshown had 6.5. Looking at picks, I'm not the first one to talk crap about Bland, but I can't argue with the results here. 9 picks leading our team. Our late round pick got 6 interceptions. Jalen Hickman and we were debating on benching him going into week 3. and he completely turned it around, and he tied Diggs on the amount of picks we had. So that's really good to see. Damon Clark, even with the sacks, he also had 5 interceptions as well. And then Yancey, our 3rd round pick to cornerback, he had 5, which is really good. We have a lot of youth now, and that's the big difference in year 1, is that we drafted a lot of rookies, and they're all contributing in year 2. So that's what we did. We got younger, we got faster, and we're making some plays. Queen had 4. He's our 2nd round pick. Overshown 3, Bell 3, and Mike even had a pick 2. Just crazy. Let's go ahead and look at the I want to see the whole NFL stats though. I want to see who was leading the league and all that stuff too. I'm sure you're interested in that as well. So let's take a quick look here. Passing, Joe Burrow led the way, 8,200 yards. I don't even know how far down I got to get to Dak. Yeah, so he's in the bottom 10 of the league right here with only 5,100. Let's kind of look at TDs though and picks and see how that 97 for Burrow. That is crazy. He leads the way, and he only had 17 picks. The Bengals user is crazy, and that just kind of shows it right here. 97 tutties and 17 picks. That is just a mind-boggling year. Jordan Love's up there, Patrick Mahomes, just Jaden Daniels, the people that you would expect to see. And if you don't know, Jaden Daniels, the Commanders, that guy got a 99 speed wide receiver, and so he's just kind of completely changed the Commanders with that speed. Let's look at picks though. Sorting from lowest, we had Lamar only had 10. It looks like he got hurt though. Purdy, a lot of these people got hurt. It looks like, or they didn't play the full year. So I'm gonna kind of say Dak's in the bottom 3 for picks. That he had actually a great year protecting the football, even though I was a little hard on him. I can't argue with where he's at. He's with Burrow and Trey Lance down here, and whoever Deacon Bain is. Looks like the Panthers got a rookie receiver. So I'm actually impressed with that. I'm still looking for a QB in the draft, but Dak, hey, that's something to say. Rushing, Darren had 1,700 yards to lead the league. As a rookie, that is absolutely crazy. Kind of looked in, you got Kyron Williams 2nd, Davon A-Chain. Brandon Hurts was another rookie that we're kind of competing against, and Darren Lawton just crushed them. And then Pacheco, looking at TDs, 36 TDs for our boy Darren. Just a man. He almost doubled up the number 2 in touchdowns over here. J.K. Dobbins is up there as well. So that's just, I don't even know what to say. He's completely changed this football team. Receiving, as you can imagine, Burrow had all those yards. He also had T. Higgins leading the way. I'm kind of shocked to see this Isaiah Guerdo, who was a running back. He is a running back, and he had 2,600 yards receiving. I don't know what the Packers dude's doing over there, but 41 touchdowns and 26 picks. That's just a little glitchy over here. Clay Conway was a rookie. He had pretty good stats, but this is the big rookie. Tyler Perkins, the Commanders got 99 speed. He has 43 touchdowns, 25 picks. I don't even know how long it's going to take us to get to one of our players. All the way down here, we got CeeDee Lamb and Turpin. That's got to be in the top 40 or so. Which I don't hate. If we're running the ball, that means we're in good position to win games. I don't need to air it out. I don't need to pad stats. My main goal here is to get wins. Lastly, let's look at defensive stats. Let's see if Micah's up here. Bosa had 20.5 leading the way. Aiden Hutchinson or Floyd. Okay, so Micah's in the top 6 or no, top 5. Okay, I'm being a little hater trying to say top 6. And he got hurt, so he didn't get to play the last week, so you got to kind of factor that in. He also had a pick. None of them got a pick, so you got to maybe that bumps them up a little bit. What do you say? Let's look at interceptions. The Commanders dude, David Davis, JT Woods. Do I have anyone up here? I got Bland, who's in the top 10. He's right at 10, so hey, maybe he did deserve the contract I was trying to offer him, because that's just, that's, you can't argue with being in the top 10 in picks. Lastly, let's look at the in-season awards though before we kind of game plan for the playoffs. We have yearly awards. MVP looks like Joe Burrow, and I can't argue with that. The stats he had. Jordan Love's up there. Jaden Daniels. Got a lot of QBs. The first non-QB looks like T. Higgins. I don't know what Preston McLeod is. He might be. I don't know what he is. T. Higgins is up there. That halfback, that whatever Packers is doing, and our boy Darren Lawton. He's up here as well in the top 10, but there's that other rookie in the NFC in our own division that's right above him, which I'm just assuming that puts us not in the rookie of the year conversation, which is frustrating. Coach of the year, we're at number 7. It's kind of the people you would expect, the users that had good years. Let's look at NFC stats though. Offensive player of the year is that glitchy running back, whatever they got going on. Then it's Perkins, and then it's Darren Lawton, which I feel like Darren deserved more. 36 tutties. We need to check and see if that's a season record, but still top 3 in offensive player of the year. I'm not going to be too mad at that about that for a rookie. Defensive player of the year, I don't think I have. Oh, Damian Clark and Micah are in the top 5, so hopefully maybe they get a little XP for having a solid year. Offensive rookie of the year, this is what I thought Darren had locked up, but that 99 speed rookie receiver just beat him slightly. And I feel like that's a robbery. We have a better record. We have more wins. Darren, I'm assuming he's up to breaking the season record in rushing TDs. We're going to check after this, but I feel like that's a robbery right there. Oh my gosh, Jalen Hickman got defensive rookie of the year. He was like our 6th or 7th draft pick. He might have even been undrafted. He was so far down. We put him at safety and then almost benched in week 3. Now he's just defensive player of the year or rookie of the year. So hopefully he'll get some good points and maybe a dev upgrade or something for getting that, which I'm hoping to see. Let's quickly go through here. Best QB, Dak's in the top 5. Hey, you gotta give him that. Best running back, we're number 2, and we had so much better rushing stats. Whatever he's doing, he's this Gordo guy out of wide receivers. So that's just kind of crazy to see. Wide receivers, Perkins, and no doubt there, 99 speed wide receiver. That's about as glitchy as you can get. Best O-line, Zach Martin. It's a good farewell as he'll be heading out. We didn't offer him another contract for next year. We just couldn't afford him, but he definitely deserves it. I hope he does well on his next team. Best defensive line, we got Parsons at number 3. I like to see that. Bosa and Hutcherson were 1 and 2. Best linebacker, we got Damian Clark at 3. And even Overshown's down there at 10, which is I like that. Best defensive back, we got Bland. Okay, there you go, Bland. Make something happen. And best kicker, we got Aubrey at number 2. Look at Aubrey, just a dog. So last thing to kind of check out is the record book to see if Lawton broke the season record for rushing. And we did. We got 36. I don't even know what the next one is. How can I'm not sure how to see what the next ones are. But hey, coming in as a rookie, we were nearly dead last in rushing last season. He came in and he broke the season record for rushing TDs. He didn't get there in rushing yards. He only had 1,700. 2,100 was the record there, but that's big time. So before we head into playoffs, that'll be the episode in 2 days. But let's kind of talk about what our game plan is. We played against the Giants. We played against them last year in playoffs, and it came down to the final second that they had a chance to win or take it to overtime, and we barely held them off. We lost to them this year in week 2, and then on a last-second touchdown, and then we beat them pretty bad the second time around. So I'm hoping we can continue that going. But the big elephant in the room is that we don't have Micah Parsons. He will be out all playoffs. He broke his ribs. And maybe, I guess there's a chance he plays in the Super Bowl if we make it that far. But I'm not going to lie, that's kind of putting my hopes for a Super Bowl way down. Just the amount that he made for this team. He led the team in sacks. If I needed pass rush, he was there every time. So we got an uphill battle. And we play against the Giants. We'll cover that game in week 2, or in 2 days. And we don't have Micah. So let's see if Dak and maybe Darren can kind of lead the way. But until next time, it's Afflicting, and I'm out. Peace.